In this video, we're talking about how to pick the best market for remote solar sales. Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. This channel is predominantly about solar, so if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any of the future uploads. Also, if you're brand new to solar, consider checking out the playlist that I have for newbies in the description. It is the last link in the description. It's about 15 videos. It will show you absolutely everything from A to Z and the whole setup. Now, the first thing you got to do when considering what markets to pick is you got to go into Google and find out, hey, the market that you want to sell in, does that have a good buyback program or the net metering? Is it good? Is it one-for-one credit, which is usually what you're looking for? So you can offset someone's bill at 100%. And if that's not it, then is this still going to be the market that you want to sell in? Find out if there's any state incentives in the state. Find out if there's any licenses that you have to acquire before you're able to sell, like the HIS or the home improvement sales license that is in states like Maryland, New York, California, so on and so forth. So you have to do your research and find out, is that really a state that I want to sell in? Because most people pick their states based on, oh, I like that state and it gets a lot of sun, so it must be good for solar. But that's not usually how it goes, because the state that has a good sunshine and it's mostly sunshine all year round may not be the best state for solar to begin with. The state might be beat down, everyone's running ads, everyone's doing cold calling, everyone's hitting up people about solar. Like, basically you're going against the grain if you're going to sell in that state. And I'm not saying necessarily you might be making a mistake by going into that state to sell in, but there might be other states that are much better to consider before choosing that one to begin with. And the second thing you got to do is you got to look into the installers. Now, you're going to be doing the selling. Now you need someone else to do the installs for you, and you have to look into either a multi-state installer or a local installer. And if they're a local installer, they need to be really the best, because a lot of times if you're working with a lot of mom and pop shops, they might not have the best setup for remote solar sales because their team's not big enough. When you send them a proposal, you have to wait a few hours before you get a response. Like, basically their process is not completely tight, which it needs to be if you're selling remotely or over the phone. And then what you got to do once you find out an installer is, hey, you got to check reviews, you got to check the BBB score, you got to check their Google reviews, how long they've been in business and things like that. And then also ask around if anybody else, or you know anybody else that's used that installer before, because word goes out pretty quick. And I'll tell you that the negative word always goes out a lot quicker than the positive. And so if there's anything negative going on currently about that particular installer, you need to know about it, because an installer might have a good run of, let's say, 6 months to a year, and then the following year they're absolutely crap. And so if you talk to somebody a year ago and now you're looking to use that same installer, well, you got to do some due diligence again before you proceed and start sending them deals. So all I'm saying is do your due diligence on your install. But to me, the most important things is, hey, I want to make sure that I get paid on time. I want to make sure that you're not nickel and dime me for everything, and I'm not going to get unexpected adders every single time I submit a deal. That's what I want to know. And last but not least, in the process, there is setting up that onboarding call with the installer. And the installer is going to tell you all about what's going on. It might be they're a local installer and they're only servicing one state. Or if they're a multi-state installer, you're going to ask them, hey, what is your best state right now? Which state is producing the most? Like, where are your fastest install times? These questions you got to ask on the onboarding call, and there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because you don't want to start sending them deals in the state where it's like the slowest for them, and you're not going to see your money for months. Now, again, on the onboarding call, the installer is going to tell you all about their fast install times, what their areas are. If they work in a particular state, they're going to tell you, okay, this county's good, that county's bad. This city's good, this city's bad. And you're going to know all about that before you turn on the lead machine. And that is extremely important because it could slow a lot of things down for you. And they're also going to tell you where the easiest sales happen, because they already know, okay, we're getting the most amount of sales from this place, and that is because that utility company is absolutely screwing people over. And so people hate their guts, like PG&E in California. It's the same thing. And you're not going to know that until you ask the question to your installer. These are all the steps you got to go through in order to pick the best markets for you to go into, and that's going to make your decision-making process that much better. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.